Hello there, Tamers. Welcome back to another deck profile from Digimon Deck Labs. This is my Regulation Volume 1 deck idea that I've come up with. It's one of the decks I've come up with. I have got others in mind, but this is one that I've sort of tried and tested, and it is quite fun to play. I've called it Espi Loco, or as I now decided to dub, I like trains, because there are a bunch of trains in this deck, as you can see. But yeah, all commons and uncommons. So Espi Loco uses a bunch of Espimon and a bunch of the Locomon stuff. So that's why I called it Espi Loco. Let's get into the list. So 4 of the BT20 Kaporimon. The reason we are running 4 of this is mainly because of the BT20 tamer that came along. Your turn. When this Digimon checks a face-up security card, it gains jamming for the turn. So, essentially, as long as you got this dude underneath your Digimon and this dude on the field, you essentially get jamming on all your Digimon with Kaporimon underneath. Why? Well, ulti, first of all, it's an uncommon memory setter, which is always nice. But then it's the main phase. By placing one play cost 4 or lower black Digimon card with a cyborg or machine trait from your hand or trash as any of your cyborg or machine trait Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, flip your opponent's top face down security card face up. So you're always bound to get, as long as this dude's on the field and you have any basically of your level 3s and a few of your level 4s in hand or trash, you essentially get jamming on any of your Digimon, which is perfect. So yeah, we run the Kaporimon. Very good. There are a few changes I'll make. This one first off being 1. I run 1 currently because that is all I currently own. But if I could, I'd run 4. Main reason being, on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with a machine or cyborg trait, and 1 black tamer card among them to your hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck. And then its inheritable is Reboot. Very nice, very good card, mainly because it searches anything in our deck. It basically searches everything in our deck, because, spoiler alert, everything is machine or cyborg. But yeah, I would run this at 4. Currently I have another card at 4, which I will get onto in a minute. Next up, we have the EX1 Hagurumon. So, play cost 3. On play, you may trash 1 Digimon card with machine or cyborg in its traits in your hand to draw 2. Again, this works well with the tamer because you're trashing cards. As long as you dump a 4 or lower cost play cost, you can place it under any of your Digimon when you get the opportunity. So very nice, and you're getting draw from it. So you got a searcher, a drawer. This is one I would change probably down to 1 or possibly 0, mainly because its on play is okay. So it's play cost 3. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with blocker. Not running many blockers, you probably could run a few more, but as I've currently got it set up, I don't run many blockers. Or 1 tamer card among them to your hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck. And then opponent's turn, once per turn, when the attack target is switched, draw 1. Yeah, you only really run the Mechanori at the moment, which is the blocker. There are others potentially you could run. I don't know, I haven't seen. I believe I did actually see a Canondramon, a blue Canondramon that you could probably run. Blue-black anyway. But, yeah. This one I'll probably cut down to 1. Put this up to 4. And, yeah. Or I could cut it to 0 and then put the next one up to 4, which is the RB1 Espimon. Now the reason I run the RB1 Espimon is because on the opponent's turn, while there's a tamer, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. That is very, very nice, especially with the Mechanorimon, because giving that Mechanorimon the extra 2000 DP basically means you can block a lot of ultimates, basically all the champions and rookies, as long as they don't have DP buffs underneath them. So that is a very nice card to have. Next, we also run 4 of the new BT20 Espimon. It digivolves for 0 of Coperimon, hence why Coperimon is our only egg. And then your turn, when this Digimon would digivolve into a Digimon card with Cyborg or Machine trait, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So, and it's inheritable, it's all turns, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. So, that basically turns the majority of your level 4s into a 1 Digivolution cost. The only one it doesn't is the Mechanori. But the Mechanori we will get to, it is sort of more like a placeholder. If I could, I would run this at 4 and this at 4, and maybe take the Mechanori out, and then I could do, like I said, put this to 0 and put this to 4. So, yeah. But unfortunately, I'm working with the cards I've got at the moment. So, onto the level 4s, we have the BT20 Hover Espimon. Digivolves for free off of black or blue, but as long as you have Cyborg or Machine, which all our rookies are Cyborg or Machine, it digivolves for 2, or of course the BT20 Espimon, it digivolves for 1. When digivolving, flip the opponent's top face down security card face up, and then end of attack, once per turn, draw 1. This is nice, because if you digivolve into this, you flip the security, you can swing with it, basically have jamming, and then draw 1. So, again, it's very nice because it gives you resources. Resources in this game is important. Next up, onto the train engine now. We have the BT18 Trailmon. It's a play cost of 4. So, you could, if your opponent passes you to 3, play it, hard play it to choke them, but that's only if you're really desperate. Digivolves for 2. And then on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may place 1 Tamer card or 1 level 4 or lower black card among them as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Return the rest to the top or bottom of your deck. So again, you're digging through your deck. If you hard play this, you're able to find a Tamer. You're able to find a level 4 or lower black card. And then if you don't find anything you like, but you like what you're going to draw next, you can stick it on top. But if you don't like it and you want to cycle more through your deck, you can put it on the bottom. And then end of opponent's turn, providing this card lasts that long, once per turn you may play 1 Tamer card from this Digimon's Digivolution card without paying the cost. And then its inheritable is Collision. The Collision is important in this deck, and we will go over why when we get onto our ultimates, but yeah, Collision is important. But this card, it's alright searching by itself, and it can also work with our Megas, which we will get onto. Next up, we have another Trailmon. This is the BT17 one. It's a bit more play cost, 5, so you can still potentially choke your opponent to 2. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer card or 1 black card with the Machine trait among them to your hand, and then trash the rest. Again, trashing works well because if you need the Tamer, you can grab the Tamer and then trash the Digimon, which you could potentially then recycle with the Ulti Tamer if their play costs 4 or less. Or if you need to find like your top end, which the ground Locomons are machines, you can take the machine. Ground Locomon, providing you have it. And then of course this also has the inheritable of Collision. So those two are ones like sort of the main engine, or part of the main engine, along with the Espi stuff. So yeah. Mechanorimon. Now, like I said, Mechanorimon is only really in here for me as a placeholder. If I could, I'd run the Hover Espi at 4 and the old Trailmon at 4. But he's okay. He's a play cost of 4. You can place him underneath something and essentially be able to well, now that I think about it, actually, if you can place him under the ground Locomon that we will talk about shortly, you're able to play him out at the end of turn. So even if he goes to trash, you can play him out from the ground Locomon if you use the ulti to place him under. So maybe he's okay. He's a blocker and he's okay. So like I said, blocker, your turn. He can't attack, which is probably the only downside, but he is good to stave off attacks. So opponent's turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, it unsuspends. So again, working with the Espimon RB1, you get him up to 8k, you can block pretty much most champions and ultimates. So yeah, he's probably better than I think, to be fair. Getting on to the ultimates now. We run 2 EX1 Andromons. So when Digivolving, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 level 6 Digimon card with the machine in its traits among them, and then trash the remaining cards. Again, good source to get your stuff for your ulti-tamer in the trash. And then opponent's turn, while this Digimon has machine in its traits, which both your ground Locomons are, it gains blocker. So like I said, you get that Mechanori underneath. You get to play them out at the end of the ground Locomon's attack. You can also give your ground Locomon jamming if you have the Kaporimon underneath. So you can swing. Basically reboot if you have the Hagurumon underneath, because he can place anything under a card. And then, yeah, the reboot is definitely important. I would definitely aim to get more reboot. Next up, the more train engine. Locomon, this is the EX2 one. Play cost 6. Your turn, when this Digimon will Digivolve into a ground Locomon in your hand, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Plain and simple, you get your EX2 ground Locomon for 2, and you get your I can't remember what set it is, I believe it's BT17. You get your BT17 ground Loco for 3 cost instead, because it's a 4 cost normally. But this isn't the trail Locomon you want to go into. The Locomon you want to go into is this one. So the reason you want to go into this one is all turns, once per turn, when an attack target is switched, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may place 1 Parasite-mon. I don't run Parasite-mon, but you probably could in place of my other Mega, which we will get onto shortly. 1 Parasite-mon or 1 level 5 or lower black Digimon card among them, as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, and then trash the rest. And then all turns, when one of your Digimon's effects adds to this Digimon's Digivolution cards, this Digimon may Digivolve into a ground Locomon in your hand without paying the cost. Also, it has the inheritable collision. So, one thing with this deck is it is good at board control, because a lot of the times you can force your opponent to block. But the reason this one is good, because if you go into this ground Locomon, the BT17 one, you gain piercing on the Evo, which is for free. And then you also have on play when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, place 1 level 5 or lower black Digimon card among them as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, then trash the rest. End of attack, once per turn you may play 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card with the machine trait from this Digimon's Digivolution card with a play cost, without paying the cost. Okay, I didn't realise it was just machine. I thought it was cyborg as well. So is Mechanori machine or is he cyborg? He's machine, so you can play the Mechanori. So this is awesome, because if you get into this, you have piercing, you have collision, your opponent has to block. If you've used the ulti and he has the Kaporimon underneath, he has jamming. If you have the Hagurumon underneath, he has reboot. There is just so much you can do with this deck. It is incredible. It is essentially a blue deck in disguise, just with little hints of it showing. Ground Locomon, the EX2 one. This is I only run this at 2, mainly because it can attack opponent's Digimon, so you can't swing over Digimon with it. But it is still insane, because your turn, this Digimon can't attack your opponent's Digimon, and then all turns, for each card in your trash with Cyborg or Machine in its traits, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. So you can make this boy beefy, so much to the point where, unless you're hitting an option that removes it, you don't really have to worry about giving this guy jamming, because they just swing over anything. Because a lot of the time you will have sources in your trash. So that is why he's in it. This is sort of a substitute Mega, the Ebimon. Again, it's mainly for ball control. You could run the Parasite-mon. I don't know if the Parasite-mon is rare or common or uncommon. I can't remember. I'd have to actually look that up. If it is, then you can't run it. But this one, On play, when Digivolving, your opponent reveals the top 3 cards of their deck. You choose one Digimon card among them and delete up to its play costs total worth of your opponent's Digimon. This can be hit or miss. This is the main reason why I'm running it at 2, sorry. Unless you hit a big Digimon, a lot of the time you'll only be deleting maybe 2, maybe 1, depending on what you hit. But the next good option is return the revealed cards to the top or bottom of your deck. If you see your opponent is struggling for, say, a champion, and you see a champion in the revealed cards, you could be like, yeah, I'm going to possibly deny you that champion for another turn and just put them on the bottom of the deck. So, can be board clear, and it can also be a big body. The Ulti Tamer we pretty much covered. If I could, I'd play this at 4, but it has its memory setter, which is really good, and by placing 1 play cost 4 allow a black Digimon card with Cyborg or Machine in its traits from your hand or trash, and either Cyborg or Machine trait Digimon bottom Digivolution card, flip your opponent's top face down, security face up. So, providing you got this on the board, you'll always be able to see what you're swinging into, unless of course you have security attack +1, which you don't. But if you're able to activate that effect multiple times, then you can potentially reveal multiple security. I don't know how it works, but yeah. Kazu Shido is also good for this deck because start your main phase, if you have a Digimon with Cyborg or Machine in its traits in play, you gain a memory. All your Digimon are Machine or Cyborg, so that's good. And then all turns, when one of your Digimon with Cyborg or Machine in its traits becomes suspended, you may suspend this tamer to draw 1 and then trash 1. So, again, resources, it is very nice to have. And you're also beefing up other combinations which you have. So, this is my I Like Trains or Espi Loco deck, whichever you want to refer to it as. I hope you enjoyed, guys, and until next time, take care.